proper watering is extremely important for proper grass growth. You want to put down 1/2 inch of water in each zone, in each run, 1 to 3 times a week, depending on temperatures. 1 time a week in really cold temperatures in the winter, 3 times a week in hot blazing temperatures in the summer, and 2 times a week the rest of the months when it's pretty much in the 80s and to near 90. In order to figure this out, because every zone can be different in your property and every property can be different because they use different nozzles in a different pattern, is you use these irrigation measuring cups. I buy about a dozen of them from Amazon, and then I place these in one zone throughout the yard. So I'll do one zone at a time. And this front yard right here is one zone. So I will space these out throughout this one zone to get an average amount of water that is put down in 1 hour. And when I see how much is put down in 1 hour on average, then I calculate that out for a run time to put down 1/2 inch of water each run time. So these have now been placed throughout the yard. See right there, right there, right there. Just average distances between each one of these throughout the yard. This way we'll get a pretty good average on how much water is being put down. And again, I'll run it for 1 hour for a test, because if you run it for 1 hour, that will make it really easy to calculate out the average amount of water that is being put down. Now that you've run the irrigation for 1 hour with all the measuring cups in place, one at a time, pick them up and see how much went in 1 hour. In this one, it is 3/4 of an inch in 1 hour. Then go and pick up all the other ones that were in that one zone and average them together to figure out on average how much water goes into the ground in each zone in 1 hour. And in this case, my front yard does do on average 3/4 of an inch. So that means to get 1/2 an inch down, which is what I want, I would have to run 40 minutes, basically 2/3 of an hour to get 1/2 inch of water down. Then I will set my irrigation controller to run the front zone at 40 minutes. Now that you've properly calculated how much water goes down in that one zone and have set your controller to run for enough time to put down 1/2 inch of water each run, repeat that process in the rest of the zones throughout your property. Once you do that, you will have all your zones set to run long enough to put down 1/2 inch of water each time your irrigation runs. And you'll want to do that again, one run in the winter time if it's really cold per week. You'll do it 2 times per week if it's in the upper 70s to upper 80s. And if you're in the 90s, you'll probably want to do it 3 times per week. So that'll be anywhere from 1/2 inch of water per week to 1.5 inches of water per week, depending on time of year. And that will keep your grass well nourished. People are going to deal with is tires from cars and mowers and whatnot running over your irrigation heads and ruining them. There are all kinds of irrigation head protectors, but the best that I found are called grass holes, and I buy them on Amazon. They're about $75 for a 10-pack, so they're not cheap, but they're super effective. They have this sleeve that slides down the side of the irrigation head to protect it from roots and stolons encroaching, and has this lip on the top so it does not push down into the soil. So a tire can just pretty much run right over the top of this and not hit your head. And they're pretty easy to install. Just place right on top and just rock it back and forth to get it started. And stand up, put your foot on top, rock back and forth, putting pressure on there until it gets all the way in. And then you're done. All you have to do is spray the inside with some Roundup to kill any grass that's in there. And then going forward, I just weed whack down on top of this to keep it open. No more using a tool to dig out the covered up irrigation head protectors. And what will happen is, over time, as in this one right here, the grass will grow over that lip. So the only thing you'll see is the opening where the irrigation head is, and it's fully protected. Hope that helps.